Hello, this is Algebra 1, topic 2-5. Going to be talking about how to solve equations with variables on both sides. So to solve this equation, we're going to be checking and then checking our answers, and we've got a few steps that we need to follow. I'm going to go ahead and write them over here. Step 1 is simplify both sides. Step 2, get variable on one side. Step 3, get constants on the other. And step 4, multiply or divide. And we will usually be dividing. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at example number 1. I need to simplify both sides of the equation. Well, as I simplify this, 3 times 2 makes 6. 3 times b makes 3v. I'm adding. 3 times 4 makes 12. We do not need to multiply here because the parentheses ended. We just multiply inside the parentheses. And so this 4v just kind of drops down. Now on this side, we don't need to simplify anything. We just put v plus 16. And now we get to work. So what we need to do is combine similar terms. Plus 3v minus 4v makes a negative v. 6 drops down, so it's 6 minus v equals v plus 16. Get our variables to one side. Now, I don't like having a negative, so I'm going to go ahead and do plus v on both sides, giving me 6 equals 2v plus 16. Now we will subtract 16 from both sides. I get that negative 10 equals 2v. And my last step would be just to divide by 2, and I get that negative 5 equals v. So I kind of worked that in a hurry, but let's go ahead and go over the different steps. I simplified the left-hand side, and the right-hand side didn't need to simplify. Next, I got my variables on one side by getting rid of this minus v, by adding v, which gave me 2v on this side, so all my variable is now on the right. Get my constants to the other side. I need to get rid of this 16 minus 16. Gave me a negative 10, and I was left with just a one-step equation. Divide both sides by 2, and I got my answer. Now, it's time to go ahead and check. And to do that, we're just going to replace the letter v with the number negative 5 in parentheses. I'm going to turn my paper to the side so I get a little bit of room for this. 3 parentheses 2 plus negative 5, close parentheses, minus 4 times negative 5. We want to know what that equals. And then the same thing, negative 5 plus 16. We want to know what that equals. And so I'm going to place those into the calculator. 3 parentheses 2 plus parentheses negative 5, close it twice, minus 4 parentheses negative 5, gives me 11, and then a negative 5 plus 16 also gives me 11. They are both 11, and so my answer checks out, and I know that it is indeed negative 5. Let's go ahead and move on to example number 2. And I simplify both sides. I'm going to start on the left. Multiply 2 times everything gives me 2g minus 4. That minus 4 is left alone. Equals, I need to distribute again, 2g minus 6. And now I want to get all of my g's to one side. Well, I'm not ready for that yet. I need to go ahead and combine similar terms. This gives me 2g minus 8 equals 2g minus 6. I need all of my g's to one side, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2g. And you may already notice what's happening. It was kind of hard to figure out which g to get rid of, because what happens is they eliminate on both sides. And that's okay. What we wind up is that negative 8 equals negative 6. And this is a false statement. Negative 8 does not equal negative 6. Doesn't matter how often you ask about it. And so, what we have is no solution. Just no solution. No solution is when the variables all cancel out and only a false statement remains. So, when your variables cancel out and you're left with a false statement, that tells you that you have no solution. And you may have recognized here that, hey, I've got 2g minus 8 cannot possibly equal 2g minus 6. And so you'd know, well, hey, I'm looking toward a no solution over here. You may have even noticed it up here, the fact that I had 2 g's on both sides, and that was it. But I definitely want you to work at least to this point to show your work before you go ahead and declare that it's a false statement. Let's go ahead and move to the back. Again, we want to simplify both sides. So this becomes 3m plus 15 minus 6, and then 3m plus 3. Go ahead and 3m, not plus 3, but plus 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Well, now I have similar terms again. 3m plus, well, 15 minus 6 happens to be 9, equals 3m plus 9. And you may be thinking, hold on, those look exactly the same. They do. We're going to go ahead and move on. Move all of our m's to one side by getting rid of them on this side. They cancel, I'm left with 9 equals 9. And this is a true statement. Okay? When 9 equals 9, or 3 equals 3, or 0 equals 0, if you're left with a true statement, then what you have is all real numbers. And you can either write all real numbers, or you can use this fancy looking R with an extra line through it to represent all real numbers. Now, checking here, you can actually do. On the other side, when we had no solution, there was no way to check. But we can check here. Just a matter of plugging in different numbers. So 3 times 0 plus 5 minus 6. 3 times 0 plus 3. I like using 0. 0 is an easy number. I could do this in my head, but instead I'm going to choose to do it this way. Oh, hold on. Got that second one wrong. It's 3 times. Okay, so 3 times 0 plus 5 minus 6 is 9, and 3 times 0 minus 3 plus 3 also equals 9. But I'm also going to check another number because it's all real numbers, so 0 should work. 1 should also work. So if I plug in for 1, I get 12 and 12, and so it also checks. And so while I really can't check on no solutions, I can still check on all real numbers. Now again, all real numbers are when the variables cancel out and you have a true statement. And so we've seen no solution, we've seen all real numbers. Now we're going to go ahead and do this one. This one seems kind of long. It's alright, we're still going to work through it. Start by distributing where I can. Three times r makes 3r. 3 times 1 makes 3. Minus, and then parentheses, 2 times 3 makes 6. Two times a negative 2r making a negative 4r. This equals 2r plus 2 times 5 is 10 minus 4. Well, I can continue to distribute. 3r plus 3 minus 6 plus 4r equals 2r plus 10 minus 4. Just distributed this negative sign, which made that negative and that positive. Now I want to combine like terms. That gives me 7r minus 3 equals 2r plus 6. I want to get all my variable to one side. So I'm going to subtract 2r from both sides. Those cancel, leaving me with 5r minus 3 equals 6. I am now going to add 3 to both sides, giving me 5r equals 9. Divide both sides by 5, and I get r equals 9/5. Well, now I need to, of course, check. So I'm going to rewrite this, but every time I see r, I'm going to put 9/5 in parentheses. Now I know that I see a square bracket here, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a parentheses to represent that square bracket. And when I put all of that in, I get 9.6. Now I'm going to do the other side. And I also get 9.6. They're both the same, and so my answer checks out. So, solving equations with variables on both sides, including when you have no solution and a solution of all real numbers. Make sure you refer back to your notes. Work these problems one step at a time. If you need to, you can always cover up previous steps to make the problem look smaller. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.